Luis has over 10 years of experience in mentoring entrepreneurs, building teams, and creating processes needed to launch successful businesses. He has advised more than 1,000 businesses from idea to reaching their goals in both Spanish and English. Hi, Luis.
Hey, Brittany, glad to be here.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the conversation. Okay, Luis, what role does strategic planning play in this effective time management? And how can small business owners start incorporating it?
Honestly, if you're still like for like anyone in the audience, right? If you're like still very new to this whole like concept of just like organizing your time a little bit better, right? One of like the first things that I do whenever I meet with a new client that is kind of like struggling with this, right? First thing that I'll ask them to do, it's like, all right, sit down, right? Whether with me or like, I'll give it to them as like a homework assignment, right? And I'll say like, all right, sit down and I want you to write down kind of like, tell me everything that you did last week on a day-to-day basis, right? Tell me everything that you did on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and how much time did you spend on that, right? And then I asked them to do the same thing for the following week and just really, are you doing the exact same thing the following week, right? And if so, tell me how much time you're spending on that as well, right? And I think, especially if you want to start doing like being more strategic about your time, you really want to understand from like a top view, where is my time going right now, right? And usually at that point, we'll reconvene, we'll meet again, and then they'll show me this list and they'll say like, all right, Luis, and then we'll start organizing all of those, like everything that they're doing, we'll organize it into like different buckets, right? Administrative work, sales, marketing, like finances, and we'll start really just kind of getting a better understanding as far as like on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, you're spending X number of hours doing this type of task, right? And it's kind of like, and then we start leading to this conversation very similar to what Jen mentioned, right? It's like, what are those $10 tasks versus what are those like $100 tasks? What are certain things that you can start automating or taking out of your purview that could be better, maybe assigned to a personal assistant? That could be better off. Maybe like you can start leveraging technology to do some of these things for you, right? Because there's different ways to kind of like approach kind of like maximizing your time. But I think like step one, right, what I tell a lot of business owners, let's sit down, right? Start looking at where your time is going, right? And really from there, start organizing yourself. It's like, oh my gosh. And you'd be surprised, like a lot of individuals will be like, I did not know that I was spending 5 hours, 10 hours on just marketing, right? A lot of people that will start posting something and then they get distracted by Instagram, right? And they're like, Luis, oh my gosh, like I spent like an hour during lunch yesterday just looking at Instagram, right? I was gonna post this thing and then an hour later, here we are kind of thing, right? Because it does happen, right? And the more that you know about these things, the more like, if it's a habit that you need to break, you can start understanding what habits need to be broken and what habits you need to create as well in order to run your business a lot better as well.
Absolutely. That is really like very helpful doing that time audit. I do not want to do that for my life, but I I like the idea of being able to like dig into those things because sometimes, you're like, oh, I spend like 5 hours a week on marketing. And then you maybe look at this time audit and you're spending double or triple and you didn't even realize it. So that is really helpful and a good way to start, like you said, and Jen, like you said earlier, kind of identifying where we can maybe bring in some support or how can we streamline it. So I just really want to thank Luis. I want to thank Jen for coming and sharing so many great tips, their expertise. We hope you all feel a little bit more prepared with some of the tips, tricks, tools, and just mindset shifts to like bring in this time management into the new year. Also, if your question didn't get answered, please don't worry. We are going to be sending out links and resources tomorrow. And I really encourage you to schedule one of those free coaching sessions because that is really going to be extremely personalized and we can get into the nitty-gritty details of your business. So thank you all for joining and thank you again to Jen and Luis, and we will all see you in the next one. Bye everyone.